It's Friday night, and you know what that means. That's time for LongShotsTV and baseball with TheRhino and Donnie RightSide. How you doing tonight, Donnie?
Hey, doing good. Now, exciting time of the year. Just watching the draft as it goes down, checking out the picks as they come in, watching a little bit of baseball on one screen. So we got it all covered. Exciting weekend, big boxing matches, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Tony. You know, outside of football season, at least give me some action. That's what everybody's giving me tonight. So we're having a good time over here.
Absolutely. A lot going on. Let's run down the baseball quick since most of the games are already underway. We got the Mets playing the Nats, and let's see, score there's 5-3. The Mets are up on the Nats, DeGrom and Scherzer. So, a little surprise there that Scherzer's given up 5 earned runs in 6 innings. So, but that's the way it's been going for some of these pitchers.
One would have thought that would have been a pitching matchup. Both pitchers came in relatively hot, but 5-3, and the Mets jumped on Scherzer rather quickly in that one. We'll see how it turns out, but doesn't look good so far for the backers laying a heavy line. Actually, looks like that line did dip down a little bit, closing it around that 137 range. So it wasn't too bad if you're going to back Scherzer and end up taking a loss there.
Right. Let's see. What do we got up there next? Let's talk about, I missed that first one. That's what it was. Pittsburgh, Miami. Yeah, we were just starting to talk about that. Pittsburgh on top of Miami, 10-1. And that is the bottom of the 5th. And Conley's given up 9 earned runs in 1 2/3 innings. It's just a disaster down there in Miami.
Yeah, Miami coming off that long road trip. Looks like they should have stayed on the road, getting pounded tonight by Pittsburgh. Yeah. Jameson Taillon's been really good throughout the season, and they closed as a decent little dog. Actually, looks like Miami got steam to bump them up to -127, but it looks like that's all for naught because that game is a runaway freight train there. So wait for Miami to wake up after taking a beating in Philadelphia, and it looks like they have.
Okay, and then Atlanta at Milwaukee, Cologne and Anderson pitching. Milwaukee's up 4-1. Looks like it's top of the 3rd, bases loaded, 1 out, and let's see, Freeman's at bat right now, so they're getting good. What do you think about Atlanta this year, Donnie?
Yeah, I don't expect much out of them, and it looks like they're going to end up getting beat again tonight, or, considering a 4-1 game there in Milwaukee already. They're in that replace and rebuild mode, got the new stadium down there. Maybe they'll start spending some money next year, but I don't anticipate too much out of them, especially on the road. They haven't been that good to back, so no surprise here. Milwaukee's winning that game, even though -123 it opened up and headed up to -136. So technically, the line was moving in the right direction if you were a Milwaukee backer tonight. Early on, it's certainly showing that. Eric Thames in the lineup again tonight. That was a nice boost. Many thought he would sit out of that one. So looks like Milwaukee's going to carry the tote tonight, but no surprise with Atlanta on the road. They haven't been very good yet. They're certainly not very good on the road, I should say.
Yeah, do you look to see them pick it up a little bit? I mean, they look like a little bit better team. They got the new stadium. You'd think you would see something out of them this year.
I think they'll play well at home, Tony. They just don't have much talent on the pitching staff outside of Tehran. So, it is what it is. Bartolo Colon's fading. It looks like on the back end of his career, came in with the ERA in the high 4s. Looks like it's going to get even higher depending on how long he lasts in this one. So I don't anticipate too much from Atlanta this year. Didn't anticipate too much from them coming into the season either. So no big loss there.
Right. Okay. Cincinnati at St. Louis. Cincinnati is that's my NL team, and they're starting off the season pretty good. Adams against Lynn, both right-handed pitchers. It's 1-1 bottom of the 3rd. And that looks like a good matchup there tonight in St. Louis, Donnie.
Yeah, 1-1. Edelman on the road there versus Lance Lynn. 148 looks like it opened up. Came down a little bit down to 136, 140, depending on where you got it. Right. A lot of that would have to do with St. Louis playing a doubleheader yesterday, so Cincinnati comes in maybe a little bit fresher on the bullpen end of it, but, you're going to get what you get there. Cincinnati on the road, you don't know, and again, coming into the season, I didn't anticipate a lot out of Cincinnati as it was, but St. Louis is the better team at home. Look for them to pull out or pull ahead in that one. We'll see how it goes, but Cincinnati bats would have to really awaken to get this win because it's only a matter of time. One would think that Edelman's been able to hold down the fort with St. Louis here.
St. Louis has really been struggling at the beginning of the year. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before those bats come alive.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see. But again, they're not really made for him. By the way, as we're talking there, Atlanta must hit a 3-run home run or maybe cleared the bases with a double because that one's 4-4 now in Milwaukee. So interesting there.
Nice. Okay, so we got a game. Yep, 4-4. And, yeah, it looks like they doubled in 3 runs.
Yeah, yep, there you go. Bases loaded, clear them out.
There we go. I love to see that kind of stuff. It makes it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it right down to that 9th inning, 2 outs, pinch hitter at the plate.
Yeah, and also while we're talking, it looks like Cincinnati and St. Louis now 3-1. It was very quick since I just said Edelman's probably going to give out sooner or later. So looks like he's already giving up 3 runs there by the 3rd inning.
Wow. Yep, you called it. All right, let's go down to up into Toronto, Tampa Bay at Toronto. Snell against Stroman. Stroman going to be the guy again this year for Toronto?
Yeah, he's a good pitcher there. I'm not interested in backing Toronto yet till they wake up. And again, they played the doubleheader versus St. Louis yesterday, flew back, bullpen maybe a little bit taxed. So one would think that Stroman's going to have to go at least 7 innings here to bail them out. Looks like he's on his way to doing that, coming out for the 7th inning. He's throwing 89 pitches. But again, that Toronto bullpen, we'll see if they can recover. They gave up that 2-run lead in the 9th when they were up 4-2 with a 2-out 2-run home run, 4-4 to send it to extras, and then lost on a walk-off grand slam. So we'll see how they rebound. I did take a small dog with Tampa at plus 120. They were up 1-0, lost that lead in the 5th, and it currently sits at 2-1 in the 7th inning. So we'll see how that one ends up.
All right. And then over New York, we got Baltimore, New York. That's always a good game. Gossman and Sabathia. 9-4, Baltimore on top of New York in New York, so that's an interesting switch. Usually Baltimore's been pretty good at home, so Sabathia getting hit again. What's going on, Donnie?
I mean, Sabathia started out the season good. ERA under 3 was very impressive, but looks like warm weather just started up here, and CC Sabathia's been known to melt. Gausman looks like he had it under control. I don't know if he's still in the game, but that's at 9-4, so one would think that Baltimore strong department there, what I'm looking for here, the bullpen, excuse me, should be able to close that one down. It was 9-1, so it looks like the Yankees did creep back a little bit, but not too much in that one. No surprise, though. I mean, CeCe's been unbelievable to start the season. He's due to regressed a little bit in his last start, so looks like it's already beginning for him as well. Yeah,
Gausman's gone 5 2/3, giving up 4
so he's already
runs,
out of the game.
So, all right, let's jump over to Cleveland and talk about Seattle Mariners, which they came in and just gave it to my Detroit Tigers the last few days. And now they're facing tough lineup in Cleveland, Miranda and Carrasco, and it is 3-1 Seattle.
Yeah, interesting there. I mean, Carrasco came in as a heavy favorite, and he should have came in as a heavy favorite, but certainly not playing up to the capability tonight. 80% of the tickets coming in on Cleveland. They're down 3-1. Still a little ways to go in that one. 3 at-bats left for Cleveland to turn it around, but looks like the bats have gone silent in that one. Haven't checked in too much on that one, but it looks like where it is.
Yeah, let's see. Carrasco, 7 innings, 3 earned runs, and looks like Miranda's out, Pazos is in after 5 1/3. So, okay, and then talking about Detroit, Chicago White Sox are in town, and I did take a bet on this game and went with the White Sox on this one. It's now 3-3. Detroit's tied it up. Pelfrey
tough
against
one,
Boyd.
I guess, Tony. If somebody had the 5th inning wager in that one,
Oh yeah, that's a heartbreaker right there. But that happens. I mean, you got to anticipate that. It's still early in the season, so I really don't like those first 5 inning lines this time of the year. So, Pelfrey 4 1/3, gave up 2. And let's see, Matt Boyd, 5 innings, he's given up 3. So, not a bad outing again for Matt Boyd. Looking for him to be a little stronger in the middle of the season for Detroit if they're going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So, LA at Texas, Donnie, it's a 1-1, top of the 4th, Skaggs against Martinez. This looks like it was supposed to, if I remember right, it's supposed to be a little bit of a slugfest, but it's not looking that way.
Yeah, Texas really hasn't brought the bats out full blast yet this year, so
still
waiting for them to wake up a little bit. Martinez had a good start, 7 innings and 1 earned run out of the gate, so 1-1 here, not too much going on. Heavy ticket total for Texas in this one. Line opened up at -115 in the favor of the road team. The Angels here, not much has changed since there, but 1-1. Not too much of a game that I was looking into there. Wind blowing in a little bit from right field at 15 miles an hour, so maybe that's keeping that ball in the ballpark a little bit better than what it should. So no surprises there.
All right, and then Oakland at Houston. Oakland's on top of Houston 4-3. Bottom of the third, Cotton and Morton. These two pitchers I don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, I mean, Morton's been around the gate, from probably his Pittsburgh Pirate days. Cotton just came up there for Oakland. Cotton had a pretty good start to start the season, but has since faded back to an ERA right around 5. Oakland jumped out to a quick lead tonight. I believe it was 3-0 right off the bat, and it looks like they're holding on to a 4-3 number. Houston finally getting George Springer back tonight, and also Jose Altuve, so that's certainly going to help them down the stretch and see if they can pull this one out. But they did close as a decent favorite, -167. Houston did with Pinnacle, so they look to be winning that game, but down a little bit early in that one.
All right. Minnesota at Kansas City. Kansas City, another team that started off really slow, and the Twins are not doing as well either. But Gibson against Kennedy. Kansas City is up 3-0 right now, bottom of the third, and that game should be a little more interesting, I would think, down the stretch there. Kyle Gibson, he's one of those guys that I looked at, be a decent pitcher. He's kind of a guy that I look at, every time he's pitching for a game to bet on. I tend to key on him. I don't know about you, Donnie, but
no, he stinks. He's an automatic fade, Tony. I mean, he has a 9 ERA through 4 starts this year. Doesn't show up too much.
Exactly.
And again, Kansas City, which can't hit their way out of a paper bag, up 3-0 already. 3 runs for Kansas City is like 27 runs for the Baltimore Orioles. So no surprise there to me, even though he was on the sharper end of the spectrum tonight, depending on what type of line you got. But I got bitten betting with Gibson over the weekend, just looking for a sharp number. He got destroyed by Detroit. Looks like he's on the path tonight to getting destroyed again by Kansas City.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, let's talk about Chicago-Boston, and this is always a good series. Arrieta against Pomeranz, and it's 5-2 Boston right now in Boston. So looks like Arrieta's getting hit around a little bit. 4 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 base on balls, and 5 earned runs. And for Pomeranz, he's pitched 5 innings, 2 base on balls, 5 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs. So bit of a pitching duel there, but the bats are coming through.
Yeah, 5-2. I mean, Arrieta got rocked right from the beginning. I believe he gave up 5 runs in the first, so must have settled down in that one. Chicago's only got 2 runs.
Yeah,
came in as a slight favorite, Chicago here, but Boston, tough beat at home there. We'll see how that one finishes out. Let the bullpens take care of that one. But Chicago's got some bats. They've been known to come back, but might be a little bit tougher here on the road, being down 5-2.
Well, I can't imagine Arrieta getting beat, hit for 5 runs in the first inning like that. It's just not typical for him.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's certainly not.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys aren't in their groove yet, but they will be here probably first of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, Arizona, down in Freeland against Ray. Arizona's favored 160, 162, 164, opened at 143, and that's a 940 start. What do you see out of these two teams here tonight, Donnie? Is it going to be looking at the over, maybe?
Yeah, both of these guys came in with a good ERA, pitching well. I mean, Colorado thankful that they left Coors because they gave up over 10 runs in 3 straight games versus Washington. But no surprise there in Arizona. They've been bopping the ball quite a bit in Chase Ballpark down there in Arizona. As long as that roof is closed, heavy favorite, -169 Arizona closes at. I don't like to lay that type of number. And actually, Colorado is playing well on the road, 7-3 overall. So we'll see how that one goes. But one would think it would be a shootout. Over/under is 10. Looks like it's hovering around the 9 position here. But both of those pitchers have been decent to start the year. But both of those teams can certainly bring the lumber.
Yeah. So is Freeland the guy to be able to hold him off? That's the question.
Yeah. Yep. That would be the question.
Okay, Philadelphia Phillies at the Dodgers. Okay. Mm-hmm. It'll play 180 Dodgers Open, which is understandable in this situation. But you got Eckhoff against Maeda. Eckhoff's been pretty decent. So, I don't know, Donnie, maybe there's a big dog sitting there waiting to get picked.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Eichhoff's been good. His last 13, 14 starts mostly have been quality. Hasn't given up any more than 3 runs. Maeda's got destroyed his last 3 starts. So maybe a live dog here, minus 180, which means, plus 170 on the dog side here. Probably not interested in taking the Philadelphia Phillies because I don't believe in taking a favorite that high or a dog situation like that. Because if you look, I mean, Philadelphia played yesterday, albeit in the afternoon, but flying across country to play an overall better team with the Dodgers. But Philadelphia's going to be gamey in this one. I mean, Eichhoff's going to keep them in the game. If Maeda is still pitching to what he has been doing the past couple starts, Philly's going to be right in this one. Yeah,
it should be a very interesting game there. Let's see, where are we at here? San Diego, San Francisco. This is a game I always like to watch too. Perdomo and Samardzija. How's he been doing this year so far, Donnie?
Awful. Completely a train wreck.
Yeah. I kind of thought that, but I didn't see the numbers on him. So
yeah, he's about a 7.5 ERA to start the season so far.
But he got rocked, what, one game?
Couple games. He's pretty much been a gas can all throughout so far.
Oh, my goodness. That's not like him. So he needs to settle down. Maybe there's an injury or something that's plaguing him, bothering him. Who knows how that's going to be. But San Diego, I mean, are they going to continue to be the train wreck that they've been in the past?
They're playing a lot better, Tony, than what they were supposed to play, which isn't saying much. But Perdomo's on the mound tonight. He almost has a 7 ERA as well. So not exactly a pitching duel going down in San Francisco tonight. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we've got tonight on the games. Actually, Baltimore update. Baltimore, New York, it's now 11-4, Baltimore.
Crack out the bats in New York.
Yeah, oh my goodness. So, things tend to get out of hand there, but that's what it is. We got a couple of basketball games going on tonight. Boston, Chicago, 54-51, Boston at the half, and this is a game that I did pick. Donnie, I took the Celtics to close.
Yeah, what are they doing, Tony? I haven't paid too much attention to the NBA tonight. What are we looking at? Some score updates there.
54-41, Boston Celtics up.
Beating them up.
At the half. I had Boston to close it out tonight against Chicago, and Washington at Atlanta. It is Washington 77-58 all over Atlanta.
Yeah, beating them up pretty good in that one. Yeah, I don't really track the NBA too much. I like to follow in and, if there's a good game or something later, but I'm just waiting for Cleveland to play Golden State. That's, I'll tell you all about my NBA finality at that point, but I know there is a Clippers Jazz game. And when these games are heading down the stretch and looking at them and, they're going into elimination games, they do tend to be a little bit more fun, but it's really about Golden State and Cleveland and nobody else to me.
All right. Well, we hope that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what... We got a couple of NHL games down there. We're in the playoffs there, too. We got Nashville at St. Louis. It's 1-1, second period. I believe this is game 2 of that series. And then tonight at 10, Edmonton at Anaheim. And I think that's also game 2. And I'm pretty sure Edmonton won that game last night. So, things are starting to unfold in the... Stanley Cup race, and we'll see how that unfolds. The second, third rounds are always a little bit better, of course, to watch and sometimes to bet on. But hockey's a tough one, boy. You just really gotta know your numbers there.
Yeah, absolutely, gotta hone in there, sure.
And one other thing we wanted to talk about for a few minutes, Donnie, is the NFL draft.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
It's about time we had some NFL. It turns the light bulbs back on for some people, thinking that, football's right around the corner. We get to the draft, and I've got something to look forward to, and I can start making my mock drafts for my teams and go from there. But little update on your Philadelphia Eagles, Donnie?
Yeah, I like the 2 picks that we had. Almost, being in Philadelphia, we like to stash a lot of our players away and use them at a later time. So Sidney Jones going in the second round, probably the best cornerback in the draft. All the measurables coming back in his favor, and also with a medical report checkout, they seem to think he's going to be fine. So I don't mind that pick at all. Barnett, the pick, very safe at 14, is going to be in the league for a long time, be very productive at that position. So we'll certainly see what happens, and maybe it'll work out for my Eagles once in a while.
Hey, it couldn't hurt. Okay, well, we've got this first week's schedule up here and the opening line. So we've got Kansas City at New England, of course, 8:30 game. That line opened at 7. in favor of New England, of course, and that's going to be an interesting game. Do you think that the Chiefs are going to make some good pickups on their own this year and maybe give New England a little run for their money this year?
Nah, nobody's going to give New England a run for their money. I mean, they're just stacked and ready to go. They got wide receiver help. They're obviously going to get some help with the draft. They have the best, quarterback who's ever lived on the planet, best coach as well. It's going to be the same old scenario again until Bill Belichick decides to retire and Tom Brady decides to go. It's either them or nobody else, or if they play bad or get massive injuries,
It's almost anticlimactic, isn't it?
Sometimes it is. I mean, especially when you play in the AFC East, where it just seems like, the Bills are completely inept every year. The Dolphins are completely inept. The Jets are completely inept. So when you give a really good team automatic wins and home field advantage every single year, it's going to pay off dividends, and that's just what that is. 3 train wreck franchises, just, tough to do it with.
Yeah. Most of the other games opening odds are, close to a pick 'em all the way up to like -4. But we do have one game, oddly enough, my Brownies, Pittsburgh and Cleveland opening game. It opened at 8.5. The line is now all the way up to anywhere from 9.5 to 11.
Yeah.
So, any indicators there on what's going to happen?
No quarterback means no victory. So we'll see how that one ends up playing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Ben going to be healthy this year?
Yeah, Ben will be fine. I mean, he's crying a little. He wants a little bit of attention, so he's putting out there. Not sure if I was coming back yet, and then, hey guys, I'm coming back. I mean, sometimes quarterbacks just want a little bit of love, but he's going to be back and fine. And that team's stacked on offense with the offensive weapons that they're looking at, so we'll be fine. We'll have another good season, no question about that.
All right. Do you think they're at this point, just based on drafts and what's been going on in the news, Donnie? Do you think there's a couple of teams in there that you might think may surprise people this year and be in contention?
I mean, one would think, just looking at my Eagles, they're going to make a run towards the playoffs. Not to say they're going to get there. I think they'll be better than a 7-9, and they were last year, maybe a 9-7. Looking as a peak on the outside. I think Dallas is going to be very good, just looking from an NFC East perspective. But, I mean, the same old situation will be there. You're going to look again for the Patriots. You're going to look for the Steelers. I think if somehow Houston can get any bit of quarterback play, they're going to be in the mix. I love the Oakland Raiders out on the West Coast. So the usual suspects early on, so we see some teams separate. I love the way that Carolina Panthers had their draft, picked up 2 weapons out of the backfield, the kid from Ohio State and also Christian McCaffrey. I think that's really going to help out. I like the pick that Tampa Bay had with O.J. Howard to help out a young quarterback and a young offense flourish down there. So it's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to look to make that jump. Again, Tennessee is going to be a little bit tougher, but if you're looking at AFC teams, 2 teams to battle, it's going to be the Raiders and Patriots coming right down to the wire with maybe the Steelers, sneaking up on their heels a little bit.
Well, I hate those Steelers, so...
Yeah. I mean, when you get the quarterback, that's the battle that you try to win, and until you find it, it's hard to beat those type of teams. I agree.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to football, but we've got a lot more baseball to play. We want to finish up these NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, see what happens there, and then we can dig into baseball for a while until college football starts. So, looking forward to that, my brother.
Hey man, we'll get some good times on. We'll do it again next Friday night, see what's what. And but I'm interested in getting back to this draft here, checking out a few things, seeing how it winds up, and digesting it all tonight.
I agree with you there. Let's go see what's happening, and look forward to seeing you next week, Donnie. And we'll hopefully have a lot more interesting news as far as the baseball games and scores and what's going on with who. So, all right,
absolutely.
Okay, guys, don't forget to go over and see Donnie at RightSideVP.com, and you can see him at TrendBetting.com as well, and me, TheRhino, at TrendBetting.com. And come on over, say hi to us, talk to us, pick our brains. We like to get conversations going. We got a lot of sports writers writing for us now, so you can come on over to the site and check those guys out. They're writing some good stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, that's been Long Shots TV for tonight. Remember to take a shot with Long Shots, because we are the game.